Great to have you with us. And also great to have in studio with me right now, Congressman Dr. Joe Heck. And Congressman, welcome to the show this afternoon.
Thanks, Alan. Always good to be with you.
It is great to have you here. And I always want to open the lines up because I know people want to talk to you. It's 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Also want to let you know that Congressman Heck is holding a Veterans Town Hall event tomorrow, as a matter of fact, from 6 until 7:30, and that is at the American Legion Post 40 out in Henderson on East Van Wagenen, I guess, in Henderson. So you'll be out there greeting people.
Exactly. We're doing a veteran-specific town hall. A lot of issues going on with our veterans, both older and some of our more recent vets, and so we want to address their concerns. We did a open town hall last night in the Siena community, so we're making sure we get out and listen to the folks and the concerns that they have.
733-KXNT, I want to ask you this. I didn't get the chance to. You were busy. You're on the floor voting instead of coming on the air with me the last couple of weeks. And very important.
I'm trying to get them to fix the schedule, realizing that I have important commitments like coming on your show.
That's what I'm thinking about. Don't they realize it? All right, here, talk to Nancy Pelosi, would you, if you must. Let me ask you, you heard Benjamin Netanyahu speak to the joint session of Congress. I want to get your reaction to that because I want to tell you what my reaction was in a moment. But what was yours?
Well, it was an incredible talk. It was more of a conversation than a speech, and he really brought home the importance of the relationship between the United States and Israel, the importance of Israel to have the ability to protect itself, the relationship between Israel and the Palestinians, and overall, he received. I lost count of the standing ovations he received from the members of Congress because he was just a riveting speaker.
I wrote an op-ed piece that was in the RJ, and it had to do with the fact that the president, when he spoke, talked about three aspects: going to the pre-67 borders, which is ridiculous. Number two, the plight of the so-called refugees, the Palestinian refugees, which was a deal breaker back in 2000, the fall. Because the Palestinians would like to have all those who left in 48 or their children or children's children all return to Israel, making Israel, in fact, a non-Jewish state. So that's a deal breaker. And number three, he also used the word contiguous when he wanted a Palestinian state, a contiguous. Now, contiguous means, I looked at Merriam-Webster, but if you go from Gaza to the West Bank, from the lower to the middle there, and you'll cut Israel in half. Nobody picked up on that, and I thought that was insane that he would suggest that.
Well, it was very interesting, certainly going back to the 1967 borders, which then, at its narrowest point would make Israel about an 8 to 10 mile wide nation, which is impossible to defend. Because also in the speech he talked about Israel having the right to defend itself. Well, that you can't really defend in depth if you've only got 8 to 10 miles of space to operate in. So that's certainly a big concern. The idea of the contiguous space was whether it cuts across the waist of Israel or, they talked about these corridors. Whether or not it would be a wraparound along the outer border of Israel that would then be a strip of land. But that requires land being given back to the Palestinians, which was never really Palestinian territory.
Right.
And so there are a lot of issues. And the most important thing that needs to happen certainly is that both sides agree to sit down and have face-to-face talks. We continue with these proximity talks and go-betweens. But we really have got to have the main players, Prime Minister Netanyahu, Abbas, sit down and talk about what's necessary to achieve the two-state solution. But, of course, Palestinians have to first agree that Israel has a right to exist, which we haven't even gotten past that stumbling.
No, but because Abbas has joined with Hamas now, and Hamas says we'll agree to wipe out Israel. That's all we'll agree to. And so, how do you talk with somebody whose goal is just to kill you?
Right, exactly. If you can't get past that first simple piece of agreement, then everything else, whether going back to 67 borders or contiguous land, those are all moot discussions.
733-KXNT, 733-5968. You're listening to Dr. Joe Heck. He's our congressman from the 3rd, my congressman, and I don't care how they cut it up. He'll be our congressman come next time as well. I can guarantee you on that one. This segment brought to you by Humana. Visit their guidance centers located in Summerlin and Henderson. We'll continue with Dr. Joe Heck and your calls next, right here on KXN.
Hello out there, TomTom drivers of America. And isn't it a beautiful, traffic-free day today? Well, for you anyway. Yes, with new TomTom HD Traffic, that device of yours is a certified game changer that steers you clear of backups automatically. More updates, more coverage, and more accuracy means you can get anywhere with time to spare. So when your friends ask why you're early again, tell them how you broke free with a TomTom. Because anything less is just GPS. Available on Amazon.
Taking care of your health is easy and affordable when you shop at Sam's Club. Visit your local Sam's Club pharmacy during Men's Health Month on Saturday, June 11th for a free health screening sponsored by Unilever. A friendly and certified technician will administer tests that can detect the early signs of prostate cancer and help monitor your health. While you're there, become a member and stock up on the brands you need to keep healthy, like Advil, Citrasil, Cliff Bar, and Centrum. Screening tests may vary by state.
Did you know there's a multi-billion-dollar budget deficit in Nevada, jeopardizing our education, our healthcare, and our future? Scary stuff. Did you also know that 10,000 kids in Nevada will try smoking this year, and 2,500 of them will become addicted adults likely to die from smoking? Yikes. But finding one solution to both of these problems may be easier than we think. If we increase the cost of tobacco products, we could generate up to $85 million of new revenue in just 1 year, and up to $350 million in 5 years. This could reduce the deficit and result in 21,000 kids living tobacco-free. Raising their price could fix our budget and save kids like me. That's the bottom line.
Learn more at thebottomlinenv.com. That's thebottomlinenv.com.
Made possible by funding from the Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, my friends. It's the Geico Gecko. So I'm sitting around the other day wondering what I used to do before the internet. I can barely remember. How did I find things? Or, say, report a claim? I mean, at Geico.com, they've got it so you can track a claim online, view photos of the damage, or print an estimate. And when you use a Geico recommended repair shop, all work is guaranteed for as long as you own the car. You can even pay your bill online, which is a lot easier than mailing in your premium. Oh yeah, regular old mail. I remember doing that before the internet. It's all coming back to me now. Let's face it, you can do anything online. You could even save money. Where? At Geico.com, of course. You can also track a claim, view photos of any damage on your car, or print an estimate. And when you use a Geico recommended repair shop, all work is guaranteed for as long as you own the car. How easy is that? Next thing you know, there'll be places online where you can, I don't know, have a pizza delivered right to your doorstep. What? They're doing that already? Oh, it's time for a snack.
In your world, you need to know what's going on, and you need to know now.
The former Clark County Commissioner is a step closer to
100.5 FM, News Radio KXNT, always brings you the breaking news first.
There was an overnight officer-involved shooting.
Count on our KXNT news staff.
Reporting live downtown.
To be on site.
Live from the Regional Justice Center.
When news breaks, and give you the most up-to-date and accurate news.
Had an oil spill that caused some smoke.
100.5 FM, News Radio KXNT, and KXNT.com.
A little boogie woogie there. 5:16 here at KXNT. Good afternoon. Great to have you with us. Dr. Joe Heck in studio, Congressman from the 3rd Congressional District. And once again, great to have you here. Let's go ahead. By the way, J.D. Hayworth sitting in for me Wednesday and Thursday, and Ron Futrell sitting in for me Friday. I'm heading to New York for the Talkers Convention.
Oh, good for you.
And we'll be with Sean Hannity Thursday night on the Hannity the show with all the panel there, the Great American Panel. So look forward to that and spend some time with my daughter. We're going to see Liberty Island and Ellis Island.
Outstanding.
I've never been to either one.
Oh, they're awesome. I took my son there on vacation a couple years ago.
So you know what it's like. See?
Yeah, great opportunity.
People always say, you've never seen the Statue? I've never seen the Statue of Liberty. Again, I'm ashamed to say. I haven't. I'm going to admit that. All right, 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Let's go to Scott. Scott, you're on KXNT with Dr. Joe Heck. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Dr. Heck, I'd just like to know, have you voted along the lines of Paul Ryan's budget plan that would change Medicare as we know it?
Yes, I did vote for the Republican budget proposal, which had a provision in it to try to make sure that Medicare is sustainable for future generations, because we know that on its current course, Medicare will not exist as we know it anyway, come 2024, which is by the Medicare trustees' own evaluation, saying that Medicare will be bankrupt in 13 years. So the plan makes sure that folks that are currently on Medicare or near retirees, if you're 55 or older, you'll see absolutely no change to the current Medicare system. And it looks at making some modifications to the program for people 54 and younger, so that those of us that aren't quite near retirement yet will have a program, and so will our children and grandchildren.
Would you be willing to modify the health plan you receive as a congressman, and would you be able to tell the audience just exactly what kind of health plan you receive as a congressman?
Sure. I receive the same type of health plan that every federal employee has an option of. It's like any other employer. There's several different plans to choose from. Mine happens to be a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. You pick the plan. You pay your premium, you have your co-pays and deductibles just like any other insurance plan, and that's the insurance that I have that's offered through the government as any other federal worker would have.
And you have also on the premises of Congress, don't you have some sort of, the equivalent of an infirmary or an urgent care center for your benefit?
There are some a house medical officer, but you actually have to pay an additional enrollment fee if you want to use their services in lieu of going out and using your insurance somewhere else. So you still have to pay an annual enrollment fee to utilize the services of the house physician.
Scott, I appreciate your call this afternoon. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Let's head on over to Robert. Robert, you're on KXNT with Dr. Joe Heck. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Fine, thank you. Go right ahead, sir.
Congressman Heck, I just wanted to thank you because, I'm a working man just like the rest of you, and you're absolutely right. Social Security is a pyramid scheme, and, I'm just nervous because the money that I'm paying right now, I am paying for other people's futures, and fewer people are paying for my benefits as well. And that's not what Social Security was intended for. Why aren't more people talking about this, and what can Washington do to start doing something to fix it?
Yeah, that's a great question, Robert, and you're exactly right. Back in 1955, there were 9 people paying in for every person collecting. By 1975, that dropped down to 3 to 1. It's projected that over the next 20 years, it'll be down to 2 to 1. And it's already said that Social Security is probably going to be insolvent in about 20 years. So we can wait until 20 years from now to take action, or we can take action now. And like you, I've been paying into Social Security for almost 32 years and want to make sure that that there's a benefit there when I retire. I co-sponsored a bill that would say that Social Security contributions from your paycheck go into a fund that can only be used to pay for Social Security. Previous Congresses have raided the Social Security Trust Fund for other pet projects and to try to balance the budget and use it for other projects. We've got to make sure that the money going in goes specifically to those that are expecting a benefit at some point in time. And then we're going to have to look at a lot of other options to put on the table to make sure that the program remains viable and stable. It's a matter of leadership. Previous Congress has done nothing about the debt. They've shown no leadership on the debt, and now we're in a debt crisis. They're showing no leadership on Medicare, and we're approaching a Medicare crisis. And if nobody wants to show leadership on Social Security, we'll have the same crisis in about 20 years.
Robert, appreciate your call this afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. If you'd like to talk to Dr. Joe Heck, Congressman from the 3rd, taking your calls right here on KXNT. We'll continue with all of your calls in just a moment, right here at 100.5 FM, News Radio, KXNT.
Hello out there, TomTom drivers of America. And doesn't the road look stunning today? Of course, it is easier to admire when you're not juggling a smartphone at high speeds. Yes, with its sleek, sturdy mount and hands-free voice controls, that TomTom of yours can take you anywhere you like without taking your eyes off the road or your hands off the wheel. So pass the good news along and tell folks how you broke free with a TomTom. Because anything less is just GPS.
In your world, you need to know what's going on, and you need to know now.
The former Clark County Commissioner is a step closer to
100.5 FM, News Radio KXNT, always brings you the breaking news first.
There was an overnight officer-involved shooting.
Count on our KXNT news staff.
Reporting live downtown.
To be on site.
Live from the Regional Justice Center.
When news breaks. And give you the most up-to-date and accurate news.
Had an oil spill that caused some smoke.
100.5 FM, News Radio KXNT, and KXNT.com.
When news breaks, count on 100.5 FM, News Radio KXNT on air and on demand at KXNT.com.
What we know is it's 2:30 this morning. A woman inside the casino was approached by an unknown assailant. The man had a gun. He encountered a security guard, and the security guard was shot in the leg. That security guard taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We're told he was treated and released.
100.5 FM, News Radio KXNT.
In your world, you need to know what's going on, and you need to know now.
The former Clark County Commissioner is a step closer to
100.5 FM, News Radio KXNT, always brings you the breaking news first.
There was an overnight officer-involved shooting.
And KXNT.com.
Why does Lexus need a $375,000 supercar? This is Jeff Gilbert with the Car Chronicles. Paris Hilton got a Lexus LFA for her birthday, but you can't get one because the handful they're selling in the U.S. are all spoken for.
It's created a lot of attention for the Lexus brand, and it's given us an opportunity to talk about Lexus from a performance standpoint, which we haven't always had the ability to do.
Lexus marketing manager Brian Bolane says it's good for brands to have what they call a halo vehicle.
It also is a real proving ground for us for technology, both around performance and around the production of vehicles.
Lexus is also trying to connect with younger buyers. With the Car Chronicles, I'm Jeff Gilbert, CBS News.
Bungle in the Jungle, 525 here at KXNT. Good afternoon. I recognize that anywhere at all. Good to have you with us. Congressman Dr. Joe Heck joining us in studio, and I have been requested to remind you that we have tickets to give away to the Crossroads of the West Gun Show being held on the 11th and 12th at the Cashman Center. All you have to do to get these tickets, or to be in the running to get these tickets, is go to KXNT.com, go to the Insiders Club, register to win, and you'll be in the running to win. If you don't belong to the Insiders Club, be sure you join and then register to win tickets, and we hope you do win. Crossroads of the West Gun Show, the 11th and 12th of this month, coming up at Cashman Center. You don't want to miss on that. I've been out there, by the way, before, and it is a lot of fun. Dr. Joe Heck, have you ever been out there before?
I have, many times. Good
Excellent.
time out there.
Dr. Joe Heck, a firm believer in the Second Amendment. That's what makes him so great, among other reasons as well. Good to have you with us. Let's go back to the phones at 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Robert, you're on KXNT with Dr. Joe Heck. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, I missed your last hour. Somebody said that you already give your endorsements. I've already filled out my sample draft, but I'm curious to hear who you guys like for the three offices that are being voted on today.
Oh, for today?
Yeah.
I personally like Carolyn Goodman. I think that Christian Giuliani is way too far to the left for me and too much the union. This is where I'm coming from. Do you want to mention it or not?
Well, I don't live in the city of Las Vegas.
Neither do I.
I'm in Henderson, so I have one vote today, and that was for a city council seat. I was in and out the fastest I've ever been in the voting booth this morning.
And I would also go for Judge George Assad. I had them both in studio the other day, Heidi Almasi and George Assad, and seems judicial. And you and I were talking about, George Assad endorsed by law enforcement, and there were a lot of lawyers who were upset with him because he is such a strong judge. But I want somebody on the bench who's strong against criminals, not like Heidi Almasi, quite frankly, who belongs to the ACLU. But that's just me. That's just me. I appreciate your call this afternoon. I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving me a chance to repeat that. And I didn't even set that up. And he called. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. JD, you're on KXNT with Congressman Dr. Joe Heck. Welcome to the show, JD.
Hey, thanks, gentlemen. I never know what to call you, Doctor, Colonel, or Congressman. But how about if I call you just a darn good, hard-working American, Congressman Heck?
Well, I appreciate that, JD. I tell people, just call me Joe. It makes it easier for everybody all around.
Yeah, I knew he was going to say that. Yeah.
Hey, Joe, we started off over on Caesar's Palace when you first started your campaign, and I don't want to take up too much time. You know the story. You know what's going on. You weren't there 2 months. They've already been trying to tear you down. I have one suggestion. I worked in your campaign as a volunteer. I live in Henderson, Green Valley. I know your office is up on 215. You need, in my opinion, to get an office in Green Valley now because it's going to be a tough reelection. And what we have to do, like you do, is communicate for you. We have to break it down to simple communication to the people of Henderson with the redistricting process and the Democrats heavy in our district. You need a lot of communication, and I suggest you get an office now.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
No, it's not. And we've been looking at things like that, JD, especially because CD3 is such a large district. And when we looked at where we were going to place our district office, realizing we go out as far as Laughlin, up to Mesquite, out to Indian Springs, we tried to pick an area that wound up being, honestly, just as inconvenient for everybody.
If you open an office in Green Valley tomorrow, I'll be the first one waiting at the door at 5 o'clock in the morning.
All right, JD, we're going to look into it, and I'm going to hold you to that.
Hey, you got me, but I strongly suggest that you do it.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate it very much. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. JD joining us right here on KXNT. Not a bad idea. If you decide to open one up, call me, and we'll promote it on the show, and people can come out and greet you out there.
Great. Thanks.
I'm glad you're down here because I'm in the Southwest, but I understand what he's saying. You have to think in terms of...
It's tough, to try to make sure that you have coverage all over. But what we're doing to try to make sure we get out to all corners of the district is we're doing mobile office hours so that we don't have to make people come to see us over here on West Sunset.
Okay.
We go out on a regular basis to Boulder City, up to Mesquite, Moapa Valley, out to Centennial Hills, out into Henderson. Actually, we have space in the Henderson City Hall that they've given us for a small office so that we can meet with constituents and do office hours out there. So we're out there making sure we don't have to get people to drive to us.
You're listening to Dr. Joe Heck, Congressman Heck, Colonel Heck, Joe Heck. And he's taking your calls at 733-KXNT, 733-5968. I'm Alan Stock. We'll get back to your calls to Joe Heck next, right here at 100.5 FM, News Radio, KXNT.
This is KXNT News, 100.5 FM.
Some surprisingly good news for the school district. Good afternoon, Robert Raitina here. It's 5:31. This news is sponsored by Humana. You can visit their guidance centers located in both Summerlin and Henderson.
There's no doubt this is good news.
We've just learned the Clark County School District officials are getting more than $120 million in funding that, nobody expected. Governor Brian Sandoval's initial budget called for cuts in the neighborhood of $400 million. School Board President Carolyn Edwards tells 8 News Now.
It still doesn't bring us to where we want to be. We're still making cuts. To meet this budget, we still have to make cuts. And the cuts to the central administration have already been made and will stay in place.
Let's see. Meantime, the extra money comes from a combination of tax extensions, including room tax and other revenue that was approved by lawmakers last week as they settled in on the new budget. It's the best news the school board's had in some time. Speaking of money and students, UNLV's President Neil Smatras will be hosting a campus town hall meeting tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock in the Student Union Ballroom. Smatras will reportedly present an update on the Nevada legislative session and how it pertains to UNLV and higher education funding.
It is very frustrating. It's changed your whole quality of life here. The way that we get around our town now has been severely altered.
The Hoover Dam bypass is what they're talking about there, and the way the new freeway and bypass bridge at Hoover Dam are creating some traffic problems for the residents of Boulder City, something a new toll road could alleviate.
For the businesses that are here that rely on that drive-through traffic, like the restaurants and the gas stations and a lot of the tourist type of businesses, it can have a factor on them.
Mayor Roger Tobler there of Boulder City speaking with 8 News Now. Well, we got a live report coming in now from KXNT's Corey Olson as voting's just...
That's right, Robert, here at Carolyn Goodman headquarters on Valley View, just near the Meadows Mall. And, it's a festive atmosphere. The banners are up, everything decked out in red, white, and blue. And Mrs. Goodman herself is on the premises. Now, she's been out campaigning all day, but decided to stop in here, and she's helping even set up some of the food for tonight's festivities. She's also working the room and keeping the volunteers pepped up. They're still working the phone lines here. They say they'll be doing it right up until election night.
Corey, what's on the menu there?
Meantime, we've got problems over on the, they say there could be some problems tonight because Mrs. Goodman herself was voting earlier today and had some issues when she was trying to get the machine to work. She said it was related to her fingernails. Meantime, we've got polls closing at 7 p.m. and a lot of folks just starting to show up here. A festive atmosphere. We'll be with you all night long. Reporting live from Goodman Campaign Headquarters, Corey Olson, 100.5 KXNT News.
All right, thank you very much for that report, Corey. We've also just learned that dozens of employers tomorrow will be at Palace Station at the big job fair taking place from 11 o'clock in the morning until 2 p.m., and we've also got another national job fair taking place at McDonald's, so 2 different places you could go to catch a job tomorrow, possibly if you deserve a break. today. The Mirage presents Larry King. He's coming up. Yes, the headliner, the big Larry Kingster, coming up at the Mirage this coming Friday and Saturday. Let's see, we've got a deal for you. If you mention offer code ACES for discounts, you can get up to 40% off your ticket. Go to Mirage.com or call them at 792-7777. 534, let's check KXNT traffic.
This report is brought to you by Chevron with Techron. Surface Street injury accidents eastern at Warm Springs, Cheyenne at Buffalo. Use Tenaya for north-south travel and Lake Mead for east and west. Also have an injury accident still working Blue Diamond at Rainbow. NHP's reporting a crash 95 northbound at Cheyenne. Might want to use Jones, Decatur, or plan way ahead and use Rancho for northbound travel. As a matter of fact, Rancho is the most dependable road for an easy commute right now. And remember, every day your car takes care of you, take care of it. Chevron with Techron, care for your car. I'm Karen Fidel, KXNT Traffic.
From the 8 News Now Weather Center, clear and mild overnight, low temperature near 70 degrees. Then that sunshine will still be out tomorrow. Warmer temperatures as well with highs over 90. And we could reach our normal temperature of 96 degrees by this coming Friday. Weather's brought to you by Humana, currently 88 degrees in Las Vegas. Albert Raitina reporting for KXNT News. Your next update comes at 6 o'clock or when news breaks, and we're always on demand at KXNT.com. Brought to you by Humana. Visit their guidance centers in Summerlin and Henderson. And more of the Alan Stock Show next. Stay
Taking care of your health is easy and affordable when you shop at Sam's Club. Visit your local Sam's Club pharmacy during Men's Health Month on Saturday, June 11th for a free health screening sponsored by Unilever. A friendly and certified technician will administer tests that can detect the early signs of prostate cancer and help monitor your health. While you're there, become a member and stock up on the brands you need to keep healthy, like Advil, Citrasil, Cliff Bar, and Centrum. Screening tests may vary by state.
Hello out there, TomTom drivers of America. And isn't it a beautiful, traffic-free day today? Well, for you anyway. Yes, with new TomTom HD Traffic, that device of yours is a certified game changer that steers you clear of backups automatically. More updates, more coverage, and more accuracy means you can get anywhere with time to spare. So when your friends ask why you're early again, tell them how you broke free with a TomTom. Because anything less is just GPS. Available on Amazon.
Home prices remain affordable and rates are still near record lows. We can help you take advantage of this buyer's market. Call 382-4094 to speak with a mortgage specialist or visit NevadaFederal.org for current rates and details.
Nevada Federal Credit Union, your dreams real.
Nevada Federal is open to all Clark County and Pahrump residents. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender. Getting an auto loan at the bank is a hassle, but we're different. For over 60 years, we've provided excellent service and competitive auto loan rates to Nevadans just like you. Apply today. Call 457-1000 or visit NevadaFederal.org for rates and details.
Nevada Federal Credit Union, your dreams real.
Nevada Federal is open to all Clark County and Pahrump residents. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Remember when smoking was allowed in nearly every public place in our community? You'd be standing in line at the grocery store and smoke would be drifting all around you and all the fresh food you were about to buy. Even non-smoking sections at restaurants would get invaded by secondhand smoke floating over from the smoking booths just a few feet away. Now that some of the smoke is cleared, it's easy to see how far we've come since the passage of the Nevada Clean Indoor Air Act 4 years ago. But we still have a ways to go. Many people in our community still aren't protected from exposure to secondhand smoke. To find out how you can help protect others from secondhand smoke, visit GetHealthyClarkCounty.org. To learn more about smoking laws in our community or to file a complaint for a violation of the Nevada Clean Indoor Air Act, call 702-759-1990 or visit SouthernNevadaHealthDistrict.org. This message brought to you by the Southern Nevada Health District and the Department of Health and Human Services.
When news breaks.
There's new information today about some suspects police are searching for.
Count on 100.5 FM News Radio KXNT on air.
Investigate Senator John Ensign.
And on demand at KXNT.com.
So now the TSA is saying they're implementing...
We keep you up to date with the stories that affect your world.
Police are searching the area near...
Catch up with the latest blogs from our KXNT news staff.
There were earlier reports it was a fire.
KXNT.com. Your online source for news. 100.5 FM News Radio KXNT.
When news breaks, you want to hear about it first. KXNT.com keeps you updated around the clock to bring you the most accurate and up-to-date stories that affect your world. Get the latest blogs from the KXNT Morning News, the Alan Stock Afternoon News Show, and the top national stories. Up-to-date news at your fingertip 24/7 at KXNT.com. 100.5 FM, 840 AM. KXNT, the news leader in Las Vegas.
This is 100.5 FM News Radio KXNT.
It is chilly this morning. With yesterday's storm clouds cleared out, we have dropped into the 30s.
It's not enough just to read a forecast. The desert is a very different place. Sherry Swensk has the special talent and experience to consistently deliver the most accurate weather forecast in the valley.
When you rise and shine, we'll make sure you know what to expect outside.
Now we're proud she's sharing her 8 News Now forecast with us on the KXNT Morning News, 6 to 9 at 100.5 FM.
540 at KXNT, and a good afternoon. I'm Alan Stock. Thanks so much for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. Congressman Dr. Joe Heck, Colonel Heck. Joe is in studio with us this afternoon. And, Congressman, thank you for being here. I appreciate it very, very much.
My pleasure as always, Alan.
Let's go to the phone, 733-KXNT, 733. I had so much to talk about, but I always promise to share you with people, and I never get onto all my stuff. Justin, you're on KXNT with Congressman Joe Heck. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I just wonder what you thought about Congressman Mr. Wiener.
Wienergate.
Well, you know, it's certainly a... I often wonder what possesses people to do things like that, whether it's Congressman Wiener or Congressman Lee. But, unfortunately what it does is create a distraction in Washington when we've got a lot more important things to be taken care of, like making sure we keep taxes low, control our spending, get rid of some of these onerous regulations and try to jumpstart the economy. That escapades like this just really distract us. And we've got to stay focused, stay vigilant, and do what we were sent there to do.
Justin, appreciate your call this afternoon. Thank you. 733-KXNT. Problem is that, as you said to me off the air, his constituents back in New York, it's Queens and Brooklyn, I think he represents part of that. They're going to reelect him like they did Rangel, Charlie Rangel, even though he's a crook too. But they're going to reelect these people. And this guy, I mean, Wiener's a bald-faced liar.
You know, it's unfortunate, the fact that he made the mistake, had you come clean in the beginning, but to put on this whole charade and then have to recant a week later just makes things that much more difficult.
Well, who does that remind you of? I mean, look at who's his wife working for? His wife's working for Hillary Clinton, who's married to. Who does it remind you of? Who could have come clean and he didn't? I never had sex with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Remember that whole thing? And all he had to say was, what it would have been best for Bill Clinton to say? Really? Back when they said to him, did you have sex with her? He should have said, none of your business, and walk away. And I would have said, okay, he's absolutely right. But the fact that he lied like he did, like Wiener, I mean, I have no respect for either one of them.
No, and we just got, again, we're home on a district work week this week. When we get back to Washington next week, we got to get right back, put our nose to the grindstone, and get back working on the things that we know America needs to get our economy kick-started, which is, again, we got to get our spending under control, get rid of those onerous regulations that are keeping small business owners from creating jobs, and we've got to concentrate on the economy and get things moving again.
I never had sex with that woman. I never swear to you. 733-KXNT, 733-5968. Scott, you're on KXNT with Dr. Joe Heck. Good afternoon.
Hello, Alan. You probably remember me from my organization, Soldiers and Families First.
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, how you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you.
I caught part of the that the congressman was going to be at tomorrow. It's going to be 6:30 p.m. because I got a lot of issues to bring up to him about these veterans and our young service members that are returning because of what I do.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, and I think that he'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Scott. And I appreciate your call, and God bless you for your service, sir. Thank you very, very much.
Right. I just want to make sure he knows it's 6 to 7:30 at American Legion Post 40 on Van Wagenen Street in Henderson, and we're dedicating the whole time to veterans and veterans issues, so please come on down.
I mean, you may not agree with this. I know even though you're a service member, but I think that when people go and fight for their country, like I'm thinking back when my dad came back from World War II, spending 4 years in the islands, I think that we ought to, we owe it to people who fight for their country to give them down payments for their homes, give them a free 4-year education, not a discount, but I mean a full quality education, pay for their books, give them a payment for it. And when people say, well, no, we didn't have to do that, well, they didn't have to put their lives on the line for this country either. I think we owe them more than we are giving vets.
You know, I would agree, Alan. You know, certainly for those who have gone over and have made a career of the military or have sacrificed a period of time to serve in combat, to maintain the freedoms that we are so blessed to enjoy. You know, there's a special place in heaven for veterans, I believe.
Well, but there ought to be a special place right here on Earth also.
I agree.
And by the way, medical care, I think that it's abominable what we do for veterans. It ought to be instant, it ought to be free, and it ought to be available anywhere at all, anytime. I just don't think we do anywhere near enough for veterans. And it bothers me. And I'm glad I can tell you because I know you're a military person and you can appreciate that. So, we'll come on back and continue with your calls in a moment. It's 733-KXNT, 733-5968. I want to take this opportunity to tell you that we had a ton of people calling yesterday to Dr. Richard Rothman, by the way. It's 636-2010. I'm going to have to talk to Dr. Heck about this, too. I had the premium LASIK procedure done, and instantly I could see better than 20/20. I mean, I could see near and far. I feel like the character in Sesame Street, you know. But it's absolutely true, and it's incredible. I could see instantly better, and I found out that it was safer, more comfortable, more precise, and it's totally pain-free, because I'm a big sissy about that stuff. But absolutely, it's great. And if you want to find out whether or not you are a candidate for the premium LASIK procedure that I had, call 636-2010, 636-2010. Ask Dr. Richard Rothman to walk you through the process like he did with me. You get a free consultation, free call, free consultation. If you are a candidate, you wind up getting 50% off premium LASIK and guaranteed financing. Everyone I've talked to who's gone through it swears by it, and I guarantee you will as well. It takes about a minute and a half per eye, and that is it. It's amazing. 636-2010, 636-2010, LASIK of Nevada, 636-2010. No more glasses. No more contacts. And at 636-2010, you will see clearly now.
100.5 FM, News Radio, KXNT.
Hello out there, TomTom drivers of America. And doesn't the road look stunning today? Of course, it is easier to admire when you're not juggling a smartphone at high speeds. Yes, with its sleek, sturdy mount and hands-free voice controls, that TomTom of yours can take you anywhere you like without taking your eyes off the road or your hands off the wheel. So pass the good news along and tell folks how you broke free with a TomTom. Because anything less is just GPS.
Hundreds of tornadoes have struck throughout the country. Thousands of homes have been destroyed, and tens of thousands of families are in need. You can help. Your donation to the American Red Cross could feed and shelter a child for another day, provide a little comfort and a helping hand, or make sure someone doesn't go hungry. Your help is needed now more than ever, and every single donation brings hope. To find out how you can help, visit redcross.org today. CBS Cares.
100.5 FM News Radio KXNT is all over Twitter. Follow at KXNT for breaking news, updates, traffic, weather, and tweets that affect your life. Get our Twitter link now at KXNT.com.
Hundreds of tornadoes have struck throughout the country. Thousands of homes have been destroyed, and tens of thousands of families are in need. You can help. Your donation to the American Red Cross could feed and shelter a child for another day, provide a little comfort and a helping hand, or make sure someone doesn't go hungry. Visit redcross.org or text Red Cross to 90999 to give $10. Message and data rates may apply. CBS Cares.
When news breaks, count on 100.5 FM, News Radio KXNT, on air and on demand at KXNT.com.
Shortly before 4 a.m. this morning, a man was hit by a vehicle on the 15 southbound at Flamingo.
There are reports of shots fired near Robeson Middle School, near Washington Avenue and Nellis Boulevard. No reports of injuries, but the school is on lockdown while police investigate.
100.5 FM, News Radio KXNT.
548 at KXNT, and a good afternoon. I'm Alan Stock, and this segment of the show brought to you by Humana. Visit their guidance centers located in Summerlin and in Henderson. Dr. Joe Heck, Congressman Joe Heck from the 3rd, joining us in studio. Let's get your calls and do this quickly, because I want to get through as many as we can. Gary, you're on KXNT with Dr. Joe Heck. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, good afternoon, Alan. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Gary.
I had something to say, but, with what you said just a minute ago, I got to say that first, and that's, if we could eliminate this almost $500 billion a year letting these Democrats and liberals spend on these illegals, that'd be a good chunk to go towards our veterans.
Well, that's what I think, too. I'm with you, my friend. I appreciate that. Go right ahead. Your quick question for Dr. Heck.
Yeah, Joe, with the way the left fearmongers everything that we're trying to do to settle this budget, and when we get into the discussions for Social Security, I never hear brought up the proven plans that our American economists have put together, like Milton Friedman, like in Chile. I mean, those people there now can retire and do a lot better than we can do here. And if it's privatized, then these politicians can't steal it either.
All right. I'm going to have you take your answer on the air, and I appreciate your call this afternoon. Gary, thanks for your call.
Again, I think you're right. We've got to look at all possible ways to try to make sure the benefit stays preserved for future generations, and that's the discussion that we're trying to move along in our budget discussions. And, it all comes back to making sure that we kickstart our economy, get people back to work so that they can invest for their future, make sure that we have a retirement plan that's going to be solvent for them. But we've got to concentrate on the issues right now facing us today, which is how are we going to get people back to work? How are we going to take care of this wasteful spending in Washington and bring down our debt and deficit? And how are we going to preserve those benefits for future generations?
Rick, you're on KXNT with Dr. Joe Heck. A quick question, sir.
Is that me?
Yes, sir, it is you.
A quick question, Dr. Heck. How are we going to keep Hillary Rodham Clinton and the president from signing the small arms treaty with NATO or the UN?
That's a good question. That is a good question.
The issue with treaties is that they've got to be ratified by the Senate, and that's going to have to be the stopgap. Certainly a lot of pressure can be brought to bear by the American public as well as the members of the House, and that's where it comes down to. It's got to be a grassroots effort pressuring them, and then holding fast in the Senate.
Because that would violate our Second Amendment rights if that's ratified.
I believe it would.
Yeah, it would. Thank you very much.
Appreciate your call. When is it coming up for a vote? Do you know offhand or not?
I don't. I have not heard.
All right. Dr. Joe Heck in studio. Your calls at 733-KXNT. Coming up next at 100.5 FM News Radio, KXNT.
Hello out there, TomTom drivers of America. And isn't it a beautiful, traffic-free day today? Well, for you anyway. Yes, with new TomTom HD Traffic, that device of yours is a certified game changer that steers you clear of backups automatically. More updates, more coverage, and more accuracy means you can get anywhere with time to spare. So when your friends ask why you're early again, tell them how you broke free with a TomTom. Because anything less is just GPS. Available at Best Buy.
Houston, what a great view from space today.
From space, you can see a world of possibilities. I'm NASA astronaut Jeff Williams. I spent 6 months on the International Space Station, but something like that used to seem a little out there for me. So if a kid from a tiny Wisconsin town can grow up to reach those heights, who knows what's possible? What's your vision? Imagination and education can take you anywhere. Learn more at nasa.gov and stock up on math and science, because America needs you to be the innovators and explorers of tomorrow.
I'm Mark Sanchez with a message for women. This is the actual sound of my heartbeat. I'm sharing my heart to let you know that the symptoms of women's heart attacks can be different from men's. Cover your heart. Learn more. CVS Cares.
Hello, my friends. It's the Geico Gecko. So I'm sitting around the other day wondering what I used to do before the internet. I can barely remember. How did I find things? Or, say, report a claim? I mean, at Geico.com, they've got it so you can track a claim online, view photos of the damage, or print an estimate. And when you use a Geico recommended repair shop, all work is guaranteed for as long as you own the car. You can even pay your bill online, which is a lot easier than mailing in your premium. Oh yeah, regular old mail. I remember doing that before the internet. It's all coming back to me now. Let's face it, you can do anything online. You could even save money. Where? At Geico.com, of course. You can also track a claim, view photos of any damage on your car, or print an estimate. And when you use a Geico recommended repair shop, all work is guaranteed for as long as you own the car. How easy is that? Next thing you know, there'll be places online where you can, I don't know, have a pizza delivered right to your doorstep. What? They're doing that already? Oh, it's time for a snack.
This is Jeff Castlehouse, co-founder of Dangerwood Records. My wife Joanne and I started the Pablo Foundation in honor of our son Pablo, who lost his battle with a rare form of childhood cancer just 6 days after his 6th birthday. Pediatric cancer is grossly underfunded by the government, with only 30 cents per patient dedicated to children's cancer research. The Pablo Foundation strives to change all that by funding research for childhood cancer and fighting the suffering that comes in its wake. Find out how you can help at poblove.org.
.554 at KXNT. Good afternoon. Great to have you with us. Congressman Dr. Joe Heck joining me in studio. And by the way, once again, you can meet him and greet him at a Veterans Town Hall event tomorrow from 6 until 7:30 at the American Legion Post 40 at 425 East Van Wagenen, and that's in Henderson, American Legion Post 40. So going out and say hi to our congressman from the 3rd, and he'll be glad to greet you as well.
Yeah, please come on out. Like I said, we're going to dedicate it all to veterans and veterans issues, and also want to make sure people know how to contact us. Our website, heck.house.gov, Facebook at Rep Joe Heck, and my G-rated Twitter account is Rep Joe Heck as well. So come on out and see us tomorrow night and follow us online.
No bulging underwear or anything like that going on there. Absolutely G-rated. I like that. 733-KXND, 733-5968. And John Stewart said that he would have known it because he was a house guest of his or something like that. Yeah. Lily, you're on KXNT. Welcome to the show. Hello, Lily.
Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you. Just very quickly, my husband was a World War II vet hero, corregidor, and I took him out to the Veterans Hospital here at the base, and they transferred him to a local hospital, Sunrise, because they didn't have on a Sunday a cardiologist available. Bottom line was he was warehoused, and I lost him 12 hours later because he wasn't treated. The hospital, out of, I feel, greed, warehoused him, and they said they had an intensive care unit bed for him. They did not, and they had him just in a regular room for 12 hours. And I think I agree with the congressman and yourself that I haven't been able to get any closure, and once you lose someone in the hospital system, they shut all communications down with you because they're so fearful of litigation.
That's
rather
incredible.
Than letting you have some emotional closure and tormenting you to the point to where you have nothing to live for.
Congressman?
Lily, I am so sorry for your loss, and that is terrible. And I ask you to reach out to my office here in the district to help with any of the veterans benefits that you should be entitled to, and that number is 387-4941, 387-4941. We have somebody who's great on veterans issues, and hopefully they can help you as well. Again, my deepest condolences for your loss, and my thanks for both your husbands and your service previously.
Lily, my heart goes out to you also, and please do follow up and call the congressman's office, would you please?
Okay, I just want to make it clear that those hospitals, out of greed, should not be lying to people saying that they have a bed and they have room for them, because I had 12 hours. I could have driven to Burbank, to Cedars-Sinai, to Loma Linda, to San Diego, to the Veterans Hospital there, and out of sheer greed, Sunrise just held him, and deplorable. They also intubated him after he passed, and they charged us for it.
I'm sorry. You know what? Please contact the congressman's office, and you have both of our condolences. I'm very, very sorry.
I
Lily.
appreciate it. Thank you very much.
God
have
bless.
a good day. Bye, hon.
You too. Boy, that's terrible. Terry, you're on KXND.
Hi there. And Dr. Heck, thank you for sending me that letter that you responded to my letter. Thank you so much regarding
my pleasure.
Social Security. My quick question is that I am on Social Security. I just made 69 last Tuesday. Why is the percentage of the check that someone gets so low? I mean, I added up everything I contributed over the 50 years I was working, and I could have done better with an annuity plan.
Well, that's a great question, and that's just it. It's all based on a formula, how long you paid in, how much you made. Nobody that I know of ever gets back as much as they paid in. That's part of the problem with the Social Security system. So thanks for that question, and thanks for calling in.
Terry, appreciate your call this afternoon. I apologize we're not going to be able to get anyone else because I did want to once again mention that you're going to be out tomorrow. People can come out and see you and talk to you. You're going to be at a Veterans Town Hall event, American Legion Post 40, 425 East Van Wagenen in Henderson. So, and that's from 6 until 7:30 tomorrow evening. So,
right. All veterans.
All veterans? What if they're not a veteran? Can they come out and meet you anyway?
Sure, you can come out and meet, but we're trying to dedicate the time to veterans and veterans issues.
Okay. Appreciate your being here. It's always great having you in.
Thanks, Alan.
And I know you'll stop in frequently, and you're invited back again next time you're in district. You said, 2 weeks on and 1 week off? Or?
One week in the district, 2 weeks in Washington, 1 week in the district.
That's incredible. That's great. We'll get you on a more frequent basis.
Great.
Congressman Dr. Joe Hegg joining us right here on KXNT.